Love is the greatest investment, or it could be the greatest disaster, okay? And so this is a video really for both the male and female audience members out there. Be very, very careful and very selective and very rational when it comes to selecting a partner for marriage, because it is a lifetime commitment. And I know that people in Hollywood say that it's very ephemeral and all that. No, 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 no. Real life, real people like you and me. The marriage is supposed to be forever, till death do you part. And when you marry somebody, it's literally to become one. I mean, you're good, you're bad, and everything in between. Your personalities become meshed together, whether you like it or not. And so when you're in that whole dating phase, obviously you're not thinking in your right mindset. But if you have that moment where you are thinking in your right mindset, you must consider all the factors that go into a marriage, because marriage, love, any kind of relationship, it takes a lot of work. It's not all fun and games. In fact, probably 20% of it is fun and games, and 80% of it is work, making it just making it flow, making things compatible with one another. And if you have a partner that is not flexible, that is very rigid, that is going to be a major problem. And then when you have major problems in your marriage, and God forbid, if your marriage ends up in divorce, you will pay for it financially. Even with, all the the prenups and all that stuff, it will be financial hell. Because even if your finances per se are protected, you'd still have to deal with the lawyers. You'd still have to deal with a very acrimonious relationship that is about to go bad, that is about to be severed. And you have to, if you have kids, if you have children, my goodness, there's all sorts of financial, moral obligations that you have to abide by. And so, believe me that a marriage isn't just about love. It really is an investment. And speaking of investments, there are publicly traded dating websites for you to consider. And maybe you're not so into the whole love relationship right now. Well, there are a number of companies, like I mentioned, that are traded in the stock market that you can invest in. And one of the companies that's available is Sparks Network, which owns, I believe, religious-based dating websites. So I think it's christiandating.com and jdate.com, which focuses on the Jewish community. And so the company itself is, I guess, it focuses in on a community-specific relationship. And the stock itself, I think at last count it was like trading something like $3.55 or something like that. I think it's down a little over 9% year to date. And one of the things that I've noticed is that on the long term, it's done one of these things. It's like it peaked up and then it just like collapsed. And right now we're pretty much at the bottom of that of the market. And I don't know. I haven't really looked at it at all. Obviously, you can tell I'm just kind of just spouting off at the top of my head. In the short term, it doesn't really look like a viable investment. But in the long term, like a marriage, it might actually do well. I mean, the dating industry changed dramatically with the advent of the internet. And so with the new social media platforms that are taking off like crazy, you would imagine that a lot of that is going to be focused on the human relationship element and is going to be focused on dating in general. So I imagine that over the long term, and I'm thinking 5-10 years, that Sparks Network stock, which I think is ticker symbol LOV, if you buy that now at $3.50, you know, it could do well. It could do well, but it's something that I don't really like the short-term volatility. So you could take a bath in the short term. You know, the stock might drop to $2, $1. You know, it could drop to 50 cents for all I know, right? But I would imagine, just fundamentally speaking, just speaking off the top of my head, I would imagine that there's a lot of growth potential in LOV stock, literally. So it might be something to check out. And about my first point, you know, please do consider it. If you guys are considering, if any of you are considering a long-term relationship, a marriage, you know, just keep in mind that it is an investment, and you know, money you can always lose and make back, okay? But you know, something like a love relationship, you know, that really just takes a lot out of you. I mean, it is a holistic investment, and this is one investment you can't afford to screw around with. So be very, very careful. You know, really, don't just think with your heart, think with your head, and not, you know, the small head. I'm talking about the big head here, okay? You know, think rationally, because this is a lifetime commitment. It is a lifetime investment.
Stop taking blind swings at the market and instead receive the best stock ideas with the highest probability of success. At Bullish Money, we want to put more cash in your stash using scientific algorithms. No opinions, no interpretations, no nonsense, just straight facts. To get started today, subscribe to the Bullish Money YouTube channel and get actionable stock ideas right to your inbox.